Hey guys, King Charmander's here, and today I bring to you my video on the top 5 ways Capcom can improve events in Monster Hunter Now. Well, events have been great in Monster Hunter Now, let's admit it, there's a lot of improvements that can be made, and they are slowly making some adjustments, etc. But events still have a ton of flaws that make it hard for your average player to play. So here are my top 5 ways I think Capcom/Niantic can improve events, and the experience for every player out there. At number 1, we have nerfing large monsters. I first discovered this problem during the first Diablos Invasion event. Although the event was open to Hunter ranks 11 and above, it was practically impossible to kill 5-star Diablos at Hunter rank 11 without nerfing the monster. I totally thought they would nerf the monster the first time around, and I was totally wrong. They expected solo players or lower level players to find someone that was much more powerful and be like, "Hi, you want to party with me?" Even though we can't literally talk to anybody in game or anything like that, but you know, yeah. Nerfing monsters would help hunters get a head start on progression as a reward for playing the event. If you're gonna play an event, there has to be some way to give you an incentive bone, etc. besides killing that specific monster that will help you. Yeah, you deserve to get a head start because you're playing an event. But that's not the case with events in Monster Hunter Now. This would greatly help solo players that don't have a friend that can carry them. Those lower level players are like, oh, I'm Hunter rank 11, and it's probably not that case now. Now, those of you that played the first Diablos event are probably going to be a lot stronger and can take out Black Diablos now. So you're not going to have to worry about this. But still, nerfing large monsters during events would definitely be great. It doesn't have to be a lot. Even just like 10-25% would make the experience so much sweeter and allow us to take out more monsters and event-exclusive monsters during these time frames. You know, I love that anime, but you know what I also love? I would also love to see other players around my area. At number 2, we have increasing party radius. Something has to be done about this 200-meter radius thing. Seriously, it's really dumb. 200 meters isn't enough. There's no excuse, because, like, yo, why would, what the heck? Why 200 meters? Who decided on that magic number? Since starting in September 14, 2023, I've only physically met one person in my area and played with a few groups. So I've only met one person in my area playing Monster Hunter Now, and I live in a fairly large city. So with that being said, I'm just like, wow, this is dumb. Increasing play radius globally would help solo players want to play Monster Hunter Now more. As a solo player, I don't mind playing solo, but there's some people out there who are like, you know, it'd be nice to see another person or once in a while or something like that, or just like even during events. During events, increase party radius to everywhere. Increase it globally. That way we can actually play with our friends. That would make it a lot more fun, and like I mentioned, solo players would get to play with groups more. We have remote raids in Pokemon Go. Why not? Why isn't there something being done about solo play outside of Asia? Asia's amazing. I have a friend that lives in Japan and preaches to me how Japan is amazing every day. He can literally just sit at his apartment and play on groups all day. He never has to leave his home to kill monsters. He has like a selection of monsters and groups to play with. For like, it's amazing. And unfortunately, we don't have that here in the United States. So, most parts of the United States, I don't know, like, that have immense groups that play Monster Hunter Now. So something needs to be done about this outside of the Asian countries or countries where Monster Hunter Now or Monster Hunter franchise is very popular. So yes, increase the play radius globally during events to make it so much better when we're playing these events. At number 3, we have more daily healing items and faster HP regeneration. Some of you don't want to spend money, I'm understandable, I'm a whale. Or some of you don't want to have to make another account for 5 potions and do the referral thingy. So here's one of the best ways to do it if we're playing events. Increase the daily first aid meds from 5 per day to 10, or increase the passive overall health regeneration. So give us the maximum amount of first aid meds that we can get in our stash every day when the event's out. And like I mentioned, or increase the overtime health regeneration. Instead of 1 or 2 a minute, increase it to like 30 seconds, or you get 1 every 20 seconds. That's not gonna hurt people a lot. In fact, you're gonna get people to play longer because of the fact that they're healing faster. And this would be an easy way to increase active playtime during and after an event. With all the extra first aid meds and the fact we can only carry a maximum of 10 of them, well, guess what? If you have enough time, you're probably gonna wanna use all of your first aid meds for that day before you stop playing. So, as well, I get that money needs to be made, Capcom Niantic. But at the same time, the more the player base grows, the more people you'll likely get to spend at one point or another. So you need to, you need to grow the player base, and by doing that, it's playing longer. So yeah, I get it. You need to make money, but still. Get players to play longer, give us more healing items and health regeneration during events. And at number 4, we have increased spawns for event-exclusive monsters. Event-exclusive monsters should be most or all the spawns during the 3-hour weekend windows. It's really annoying when you gotta go like, oh, there's a lot of Rothian and Pink Rothian, but all the Pink Rothian, or the cluster, is all the way at the end of the street. So I have to walk or drive to the end of the street, and then I can finally see that cluster of Pink Rothian, when all of the spawns in between and even in that area should be Pink Rothian. They should turn most of the map as well into biomes where the event-exclusive monsters spawn. So the entire map should be filled with the biomes, or most of the biomes should change into a forest or desert or whatever event-exclusive monster spawns. It should turn into that biome. While the Pink Rothian event showed a huge improvement in this, the event spawns during the weekend, you still had to travel a decent amount if you didn't have a double or more spawn in one area. This screws rural players over because rural players don't have a lot of spawns around them. So it's nice that they did that little thing with Gyrototus and for November where they lowered the window from 3 hours to 1 hour, but even then, that's not the inherent problem here. It's also the spawns itself. Increase the spawns everywhere. This would make it better for rural players, and it would make it easier on larger populations like me and larger countries. We don't have to travel as much or walk as much or bike however you're transporting to go from one Pink Rothian to another. This would increase playtime, increase lag time, and we won't have to really worry about walking in between and wasting a bunch of time. Again, this would massively help rural players, and it would also help out those large population areas and of course those overpowered countries like Japan as well. And at number 5, we have longer weekend event times. Exclusive monster event weekend times are too short. 3 hours is not long enough. The weekend event time should be the entire weekend. Here's an example. Friday 9 a.m. to Sunday 11:59 p.m. 3-hour windows are just way too short. Some people have work or other obligations during the weekend 3-hour time periods to play and hunt event monsters. So this would give the opportunity for those that have other obligations to go ahead and have time to play. And this would give us this would increase player activity because obviously more players would be active during the event period. So I don't get why it's not longer. It should be. For Pokemon Go events, they did something where community days last 3 hours. Yes, community days last 3 hours, but then there's another 7 hours where you can do something for another activity and make the event effectively like 10 hours long. So it's like 10 hours long instead of like 3 hours long. It should be like that for Monster Hunter now. It should be most of the entire day or the entire day in general. It doesn't hurt, and even if you did play the entire time, like I mentioned, in 3 hours, like I mentioned before, in 9 hours total, 3 hours for 3 days events, I could kill 100 to 200. That's not bad. So it's not like you're gonna speed run through the entire Black Diablo's family and everything like that in 3 days. Well, you can if you play the entire time, but like I mentioned, this allows us to have breaks and whatnot, but those 3-hour window periods are just way too short in general. So yes, hopefully they increase like this in the future, and let's hope that they do these for December or other improvements are made for events. So hopefully in December, these events, there's more improvements to events. They're listening to our feedback, which is good. Please listen to more of our feedback. Please make more improvements, which hopefully down the road, like in December, it comes sooner than later. But do me a huge favor, please like, subscribe, and comment for YouTube algorithm. I'm going to keep preaching these events until they actually are these improvements until they actually make it. So hopefully, like I mentioned, sooner than later, that these improvements or other improvements are implemented in Monster Hunter now. Good luck on your hunts, and I will see y'all on the next one.